And fans, here we are with the next matchup for Miracle on the Mountain. And this is a matchup pitting two absolute legends of the ring against each other. As we got the Cuban Assassin making his way out to the ring right now. And Matt, you know who he's taking on tonight.
That I do. None other than Mr. Number One. Dad, you don't work, you wrestle himself, George South.
And what do you guys expect out of this matchup?
Well, fellas, before this show, I sat down and talked to Cuban. We've been talking about his dad, the work he did in Canada, traveling all over the world. And Cuban entrusted in me what he's going to do to George South tonight.
Oh, yeah, Will. You got a little information there, do you?
Yes, I do, and I'm not revealing it.
Oh, boy.
Well, I've got some information as well. George South, I was told, hit 3 Bojangles on the way to West Virginia today.
Guaranteed.
And just last weekend got to see Journey in concert.
He did see
He is
Journey.
riding on such a high right now that I don't know that Cuban Assassin can even come close to competing.
Now, from what I hear, the last Bojangles he was at, they gave him grape jelly and not strawberry, and he's a little furious tonight.
How could this affect the game plan of George South?
Well, I mean, when a man like George South doesn't get the jelly he wants at a place like Bojangles, you know, I mean, that affects a guy. It really
Cuban
does.
Assassin already finding a way to ingratiate himself with these fans.
Yeah.
And the USA chants have started. Cuban don't want to hear it.
And he's making the referee, Patrick Purdue, cover his ears. And we're awaiting the entrance of Mr. Number One himself.
Hey, I got plenty of road stories with Patrick Purdue myself.
Oh.
Him and Bandit and Johnny Blast and El Toro stole my vehicle while I was laid up in the motel. Years ago, that's an old story, but they went the wrong way on I-40 down in Burlington, North Carolina. Brothers, that is a shoot.
And as we hear the strands of Sweet Child of Mine make their way through the arena, you know that can only mean one thing. George South himself getting ready to step through that curtain. And this crowd will appreciate that. And there he is, Mr. Number One, George South.
Here's another shoot that I just learned last night. 27 years ago this weekend, right here in Bluefield, across town at the Armory, this man wrestled the great Muda when Muda first came to WCW.
That is amazing, Willie.
That's a shoot as well.
The crowd, you heard that. You heard that reaction for George South. Everybody here loves this man. And Cuban Assassin thinking twice. He's making his way back outside the ring.
Well, the game plan's working for Cuban so far.
The following contest is scheduled for one fall. Introducing first, from Lincoln, Cuba, weighing 232 pounds, the Cuban Assassin.
And you hear this crowd getting all over the Assassin there.
From Eagle Pass, Texas, weighing in 240 pounds, Mr. Number One, George South. Let's go with a 15-minute time limit.
The Cuban Assassin was out there grabbing a chair. I got to wonder, was he thinking of bringing that in before the match even started?
It's part of the game plan, boys. Part of the game plan.
George is getting him riled up with that USA chant. And that's going to do nothing but get right under the Cuban Assassin's skin. And where's the Assassin going? Thought he was going to knock that young lady right there over on the ringside entrance ramp over.
I wouldn't put it against him.
Now, George South is such a proud American, he will lead you in prayer before the national anthem.
Oh, yeah, he will. Cuban slowly makes his way back in.
It's all a part of the Cuban Assassin strategy.
Is George going to wrestle in the jacket?
Well, why wouldn't he? It's a fabulous-looking jacket, Jeffrey.
Oh, I agree.
It's got a Batman patch on it, for crying out loud. Why wouldn't you wrestle in it?
The crowd still with that USA chant. And Cuban Assassin, I don't think he's going to find a lot of people that will support him with that Viva la Cuba chant in here. George getting the jacket off. And now it looks like we're getting ready to get into some action here.
Two great legends right here in West Virginia, George South and Cuban Assassin, about ready to hook it up.
Circling around each other. And you gotta wonder who will take the early lead. They lock up, and right away, George grabs that arm. It wrenches it around. George is asking the fans, should he do it? I think I know what they're going to say.
You know they want to see it.
One thing Cuban Assassin's going to have to watch out for this match is the Iron Claw. If George South locks that Iron Claw,
toe.
if George South locks that Iron Claw in, it could be the end of any match, anytime, anywhere.
Learned that from the late Black Jack Mulligan. God rest his soul.
And he's got that. He's got the complete control of that wrist right now. The Cuban Assassin. Not sure. I suppose he's looking for a way out. Goes to a dirty tactic. Whips George in the corner. Goes for the charge, but George moves. George goes right back to that arm. The Cuban's begging. Will George show him mercy here?
I don't think so, guys.
Oh!
There it is.
The point of the elbow.
And look at that. The pressure he's putting on there finally forced Cuban to relinquish standing up. He went down to one knee just to try to alleviate the pressure. But all that really done was give George more leverage, I believe.
Matt, that time you was arrested, did the cop put you in a wrist lock? Did he have full body control?
It was quite similar, Willie. It really was. And no, I could do nothing.
And Cuban, the only way he knew to get out of that, he went for it, and that was just to rake the eyes.
Oh, elbow!
Whips him in back elbow, and George hits the mat.
Cuban Assassin right back in this thing after that.
Cuban hits the ropes. Oh, was he going for a senton splash?
Looks like an elbow drop.
Went to drop that elbow. George South smart enough to move out of the way of that ring awareness.
And now George got him in that corner. Make no mistake, George South is loved by these people, and George South, one of the best wrestlers of all time. But now George South does know how to get down and dirty if it calls for it as well.
That he does.
George says we've got him. I think he thinks he's got him in control here.
Oh.
And wait. Now listen, I'm not trying to accuse anybody of anything, but I know Cuban in the past has been guilty of using a spike that he hides in those pants. And look.
Really?
From that angle, it looked to me like.
Oh, look.
Oh, it's right there. I saw it.
The lights are down a little bit. I can't really see it.
Now, come on, Willie. Look at the monitor.
Well, I'm wearing glasses, and the lights hit my glasses. I got a little glare. I can't really tell. I can see him drive that knee in the back. Now he's got him in a reverse chin lock.
Yeah, no, that's a wrestling hold.
You got that right. That's what we're here for, wrestling. Not
so,
foreign
where
object.
does the spike come into play with that?
I don't know. That's a TV channel in my house.
Anyway, George South trying to get his way out of this. The crowd coming alive. George trying to fire him up. He feeds off this crowd so much, and you can see it in his face. Makes his way up to his knee, up to his feet. Look at those elbows. George South may be able to find a way out of this. He does.
Oh.
And Cuban pulls the hair this time.
He did? I wasn't watching the monitors. I was watching the action in the ring.
Well, if you watched on the monitor, you just saw there. He actually grabbed the hair and yanked him down.
Cuban's back was turned to me. I just couldn't see it at this advantage.
I understand. Now Cuban's got him draped on that rope. Hits the opposite side and just takes the leg right over the back of the neck, effectively creating a rock and a hard place situation for George South's jugular. 2. George South kicks out, not ready to be pinned at all. George is fired up. George is not ready to go down that way.
Now, if Cuban could drop that forearm about 2 inches lower, go across his windpipe, just yank back on it, he's got the referee to his back. You can use full advantage.
No, but no, George is talking to him. He said, come on. He's wanting him to fire him up, and it looks like it's working. Can Mr. Number 1 make his way out of this hold? And he's pounding on that mat. No, but wait. No. Cuban pounds him on the back, and George just jumps up. George is fired up. Blocks that punch. Oh, he's got him.
To Wahoo Daniel.
Chopped him right in the head. Cuban reverses. Oh, there it is.
Oh,
there it is. There's the claw.
The blackjack claw.
That's like having a tomato put in a vice grip. A head will pop. He's got that iron claw cinched in, fingers digging into the temples. Cuban is fading.
Yeah, it don't take long with that. I mean, look at that, right down to the ground.
And he might get a pinfall off it. George South wins with the claw. What a moment. George South overcomes and wins with the claw. Feel-good moment here at Miracle on the Mountain. And a great win for Mr. Number 1, George South.
Well, that strategy didn't work for Cuban.
Impressive win for George South here tonight at Miracle on the Mountain.